Welcome to the Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with magazine editor David Mark. And David, we got some new inflation numbers this past week, worse than expected, worse than they had been forecasted. What does that mean for the midterms, given that these are the last inflation numbers that we're going to get before Election Day?
It's absolutely not the set of numbers the Biden White House and administration wanted to see. It's not a huge jump up from what we've seen previously, but the fact that it's a raise, a tick up at all, suggests it's really bad news for the Biden administration. They wanted to see prices going down, and now they're going to have to explain this, and Democrats will be on the defensive on the campaign trail.
Does this sort of undermine one of the key accomplishments that Democrats are running on, which is the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act? And how can they message that as an accomplishment when prices are still going up?
Right, fair or not, it's a really negative talking point for them. They will argue that in the long run, prices are slowly coming down. And if you look at individual products, there's some merit to that. But for people trying to pay rent, mortgage, get food at the grocery store, none of that matters. That's all theoretical.
Yeah, sort of looming over all of these midterm races. One of the midterm races that you wanted to spotlight is the Rhode Island 2nd Congressional District race, where you say a Republican is potentially leading in this very blue state.
Right. This is interesting because Rhode Island is such a Democratic state. It's voted for most Democratic presidential candidates going back for decades. A Republican has not won a House seat since 1992, but this time there's a Republican nominee, Alan Fung, in the more conservative 2nd District. This is not the one based in Providence. It's a little more rural. He's a former mayor of Cranston, Rhode Island. Polls show that he's leading, and if he wins this, it will mean a big night for Republicans. This is kind of a priority we've heard of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who would be Speaker if Republicans win the House. So this is just one I'm fascinated with because I think it's kind of a bellwether for the national political picture.
So we're a few weeks away from Election Day, and I'm going to put you on the spot. I'll probably ask you this again, sometime before. But on Election night, what are 2 or 3 races you'll be watching where if they start to go Republican, you will say, okay, we're headed towards a red wave?
Yeah, one is the Nevada Senate race. There's a bunch of competitive races in Nevada up and down the ballot, from Senate, governor, a bunch of House races, etc. But this is Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. She's a first-term Democrat. She hasn't had any scandals. She hasn't done anything particularly wrong. She's just been kind of a low-key first-term senator. This is a state Democrats have won in presidential races for several elections now. So if that one goes Republican, that's a sign of a big wave. Another one that I've got my eye out is the New Mexico Governorship. The Democratic governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, she's not the most popular person anymore. She had some COVID restrictions that didn't play well with others. The Republican nominee, Mark Ronchetti, is a former TV weatherman, meteorologist, so he's pretty good on TV. He's got good people skills, and if that one can go Republican, that will be a big night for the GOP.
Well, we'll be watching those. David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You can get more writing from David and the rest of the political team at washingtonexaminer.com.